Hey yo, it's time to roar, get loud, let's ignite. Jeremy B in the house, we keeping it tight. Every weekday at 11, we ready to ride. Lions Talk Live, come and join the pride. Waking up early, it's that morning grind. Tune in to the show, leave the troubles behind. Jeremy B's the king, with the voice like thunder. Every word he spits, it's a lyrical wonder. Got the lions around, sharp and fierce. When we hear one pride, you can't help but feel your heart pierce. Talking all the topics, keep it real, keep it raw. With a lion's mentality, we're ready for the roar. One pride, it feels right. Jeremy B bringing the heat, morning light. Every weekday at 11, we taking flight. Lions Talk Alive, yeah, we ready to bite. One pride, hear us loud. Jeremy's in the zone, making us proud.
This is a Huddle Sports Network broadcast. You can find us on Roku TV, Amazon Fire TV, Facebook, and of course YouTube. Get all your NFL news here first.
That's right, it's Lions Talk with Smoke and Jeremy B. It is noon, it is Wednesday, and Jeremy Fowler makes a report that the Lions are in talks with the contract extension for Aiden Hutchnson. About time. I think that's great news. No, about you. I think it's fantastic. And that money doesn't hit our cap for 2 years, whatever the extension is, because next year is the 5th year. 8 people watching already. How's everybody doing? Davey's in here. Good afternoon, One Pride. That's right. Aiden Hutchinson is in contract extension talks with the Lions. It has started. Might be some reservation on it, but I think it'll end up being all right. As much as we don't want it to be, it's going to be around 40 plus million, guys. So what are your expectations? We got a game coming up Sunday. Holy smoke, we got Ken the Bear fan. What's up?
Good morning. I came to bring you something. Hold on, I'm uploading it right now for you, and I'll show you in a minute.
The outro?
I brought you a gift this morning, and I think you'll appreciate it. And I know the guys watching will appreciate it. You ready? Here's my gift to you.
Thank you.
I've now added that to your media assets. I figured if anyone would like that for this weekend, it would be JB.
Yeah, it would. I just finished rating my game preview of what this game means more than about the game itself.
The Lions-Cowboys game? Or I mean Lions-Cowboys, Lions-Packers.
It might as well be the Cowboys at this point, you know.
You know, in the morning show, we were talking about tonight's game and that. So look, if this is a double whammy for Green Bay, possibly. If the Cowboys go into Philly tonight and win with Kenny Clark stuffing up the middle and Saquon doesn't have a great game because of it, and they win that game, and then you beat Green Bay, oh my God, the trash talk is gonna be off point. It's just gonna be out of this world. Yeah.
All right, we got Fred Peterson in the chat. Good afternoon. It's a great day to be a Lion. One Pride. Good to see you, Fred. So I'm going to read basically my first paragraph, and you tell me if I'm not wrong in how I wrote it.
Okay.
I said the NFL season kicks off with a bang this Sunday as Detroit travels to Lambeau Field to take on the Green Bay Packers in a highly anticipated Week 1 matchup. This is not just a divisional rivalry, but a clash of two NFC's top contenders. Both teams are coming off a playoff season and are hungry to establish early dominance in the NFC North.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think the Packers have a lot more to lose in this game than the Lions do. Morning, Ralph.
And for the Lions, this game is an opportunity to prove their coaching overhaul won't hinder their momentum. While they lost offensive coordinator Ben Johnson and defensive coordinator Aaron Glenn, the core of their explosive offense remains intact. I haven't said anything wrong, right?
Wait, you said the core of the offensive attack, right?
The core of their explosive offense is still intact.
I mean, I don't know. Do you consider the offensive line a part of that core?
When you're talking about the core, people are talking about skill players. They don't talk about the trenches.
Then yeah, I'm fine with that. I think that's fair to say. Yeah.
Because I immediately go into Jared Goff, Amon-Ra, Jameson Williams, Jahmyr Gibbs, David Montgomery, Sam Laporta. They're all still there, and everybody's healthy.
Yeah. The bigger issue for them is going to be the changes in the offensive line. I said it last night. For you guys, it's the change of the offensive line, the change of the play call, or not necessarily the design isn't going to change much in Detroit.
It's the verbiage and everything else that changes because it is somebody different calling the play.
Right. And well, it's decision making, right? Because Ben on a certain play might lean going a certain way, and Morton might go another way. And same thing on defense, where some people thought, well, AG was too soft. Well, the new coordinator, whose name eludes me at the time,
Alvin
Shepard may be more aggressive, and that could work, or it could blow up in its face. So I mean, those are the And I said this morning, like, fans want answers, and we want answers now. I hate to tell everyone this. You're not going to get all your answers this weekend. However, you will get an idea, some of the ideas, and some like, look at when we talk about the Lions, right? The offensive line is a question, right? How's this new offensive line? You get Green Bay this week, you get Chicago next week, and then you get Baltimore. Every week you get a little bit tougher.
Oh yeah,
but by week 4, you have an idea how they're going to hold up. Yeah.
I said if we come out of this 2-1, it's a win. Even if it's 1-2, as long as it's not a loss to the Packers, it's a win.
Yeah. I mean, look let's not forget the Bears started out 4-2 last year, and then the wheels fell off. So that's the other weird thing. But then, as I look back at that, though, we saw signs in the first couple games that the offense was going to be an issue, like the Indy game, where it's 1st and goal, and the dumbass coordinator that we had at the time runs the same play 4 times.
Right.
And they don't get in.
And every time you got a little further away from that goal line, too.
And so then we realized, we might have some problems with the coordinator in Chicago. And then it really presented itself after the bye. Like, it blew up. And so we'll get some answers. Like, I don't think we'll get answers on Green Bay as far as Micah Parsons is concerned. We might get some glimpses at how special he could be if he's playing well, if he's healthy enough to give those glimpses. But I think there'll be more answers for Detroit than there will in Green Bay in this game. The only thing I think we'll start to get an idea of in this game is if Jordan Love is going to live up to the $55 million or not. Like,
what's weird is if you look, his first year he started out rough, got good at the end.
Yep.
The next year, the team started out good, but he did not.
No. Kind of a mixed
And
bag.
then he got better late in the year.
Yep.
And it's kind of been the same thing. It's taken him half a season to get good, 2 years in a row.
And sometimes it takes him half a game. Right? I mean, it did.
How many times did I say that play right there defined their season? It did, because after that, every week was a new and interesting way to lose.
and it was funny because I remember I was at that game, and Bears fans. I mean, first off, the reaction of fans from both teams was great because everyone understood what they just saw, something that's so rarely done in the NFL, like who wins on a Hail Mary and who's ever at a game, and who's ever, yeah, it's tip, and then who's ever at a game that ends like that. Like that's a very small group of people, right? So we all were just in amazement of what we just saw. And I was like, okay, I mean, great game that ended on a just a one of those oh my god moments. And unfortunately for the Bears as a team, instead of like maybe doing that, they just went, man, like we really, because everyone wanted to talk about Tyreek Stevenson, jaw jacking with fans and all that good stuff. And that became the narrative instead of we came back and made this a game, and then they came back and won on the most improbable play in the NFL, and taking that, like we had a great game overall. They took the stance of, oh, we were terrible. We fucked that up because Stevenson was talking trash to fans, which, and that became the narrative, and then that became the narrative of the Bears.
That contributed, but it contributed, and his play on that play because of what he did was a big reason why you lost.
I mean, I don't blame him. I mean, look at
but at the same time, when you go back and watch that play,
he tipped it. He made the tip.
He tipped it away from his own defender.
Yeah, but you know what though? Like I don't know. I mean, I know you want to try to tip it down, and he didn't get enough on it. He didn't get enough of his hand on it.
Yeah.
I mean, give him credit for making a play on it. It didn't go the way he wanted. Had he not been jaw jacking, would have been any different? Who knows? Probably not. I don't know. It was an electric atmosphere, dude. I mean, I'll never forget it. It was it was electric atmosphere in the stadium. Even after the game, we were tailgating after the game with fans, and everyone was just so electric about it from both teams. It was like, but yeah, for the Bears, like it deflated. But like for now, as we get into week one, people want answers to all these questions of the offseason. I'm like, guys, we're not going to get those answers this week. We might get a clue. Like for Monday night, we'll get an idea if that Bears offensive line is any better than it was last year. We'll start to get an idea, but we won't get an answer. I think for the Lions, they'll get it. The Lions will get an idea if that offensive line is going to hold up and how the new offense and defense is going to roll. But dude, we're not going to get answers probably until week 4 or 5 is when we'll start to get a clearer sight picture. Because week 2 against Chicago is going to be another one of those weird games because you got the whole side drama of Ben Johnson coming back to Detroit. And for as much as the players are going to say it's not going to be distraction, when the media is asking these guys about it every friggin' day, it's a distraction.
Yeah. It is. It 100% is.
I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait to watch your game on Sunday, though. I am definitely watching Packers Lions, not just because of the division game, but because I think that's going to be one of the marquee games of the week. What's up, Patty?
I did a long paragraph about Parsons and what it could mean and what it might mean if he's not 100% for most of the season.
I look at it this way. In the morning show, someone brought up the fact that Dallas had the 31st ranked defense last year with Micah Parsons.
As a run defender, yeah.
No, just in total. Yeah. Or 31st, yeah. Green Bay's a better defense, but it's not like Dallas had a bunch of slouches either. They had some good players on that defense.
I know.
So
what wasn't last year the first year without DeMarcus Ware on the line?
It might have been. I think it was. But they still had Diggs. Diggs was out though a lot for injury.
And then Van Der Esch retired also that year because of his injuries. I mean, on defense they still had a great offense, but it didn't perform because the only thing that wasn't great is what they needed to be great was the running back room.
Right.
And Dak was in and out of the lineup all season.
I mean, I get the hype in Green Bay, and look, they should be hyping it. I mean, he is a really good young player, but they had a decent, a better than decent defense. They had a really good defense that I think last year somewhat overperformed. They had a good defense. Look at that new defensive coordinator they got, which was great luck that they got him. That the guy decides, you know what? I'm no longer going to coach college because of NIL. That's how Green Bay gets their defensive coordinator, right? I mean, how fluky is that? And they did well. No one had seen his defensive scheme in the NFL, though, until last year. Now people know that scheme a little bit better. So Michael Parsons helps overcome some of that knowledge, but over the course of the year, I don't know how many games does Michael wreck.
Right. That's just it. He had 12 and a half sacks, but if you actually go through it and look, he didn't have a sack here and a sack here and a sack here every game. He'd have 3 here, and then he'd go 4 games without one. And then he'd have another 3 or 4 game sack game. And look at the offensive lines he went up against in those games when he did have the good game.
It's hard for us, I think, JB, because we have our biases because of the division. But I think that, you know, that we try to be as balanced about it as we can. It doesn't sound that way to Packer fans. They think we're just talking trash. I mean, but at the same time, like, we both agree this was a good deal for them, right? To help their defense. But I don't think it is what Packer fans think it is. I don't think it's in Vegas, dude. They came out with those odds like 10 minutes after the trade's announced. Like, dude, you didn't do any analysis. They did no analysis with but the Vegas odds with no analysis of that was done. Vegas did zero analysis of this trade. They just changed the odds.
Yeah, there you go. That's what has to happen. And you know what? I trust Dan Campbell to have those guys in that mindset. Steve, it's great to see you, brother. And I love it. When the trade happened, the line moved to 2.5, and I talked about it the very next day on Tuesday. And now it's already back to 1.5 because of the news about Parsons back and everything else.
Well, they're starting to analyze it. And Steve, not all Bears fans are lost, okay, man? People are starting to analyze it, you know, and seeing the trade for what it is and now with the news of his back. But even without the news for the back, I think it would have dropped anyways. It would have dropped anyways because while he's a great player, I don't know. He's not good on the run. So if you're with Detroit, even before the injury, remember we knew about that. I was saying, they're just going to run Gibbs and Monty at him. And then when he's not in the game, you're going to get a lot of play action, and Goff is going to throw. And
I'm going to disagree with that part, Fred. Talk about the important news. Giants just agreed to sell a 10% stake of the franchise for $1 billion, evaluating the Giants as the highest valued franchise of the history.
Well, the Bears were just valued at $8.2 billion for the 2% they had to sell. I'm not surprised that these valuations keep going up, especially in the big market teams like New York and and Dan, when the Bears build that stadium, watch the Bears valuation jump to almost double.
It'll go to about 12. It'll go to about 12.
Well, if they make the playoffs this year, it'll go up. And then if they build the stadium on top of that, I mean, it's amazing.
I'm just saying, the stadium alone would make it about 12 million. That's going
to add about $4 billion right there. Just that complex. I mean, it's amazing. And then we wonder why ticket prices are so damn expensive.
Right. And that's the thing. Well, we're only able to spend so much money because that's what the cost of living did by raising minimum wage as slow as it is. We forget they've got all that TV money coming in. They've got the website money coming in. They got all of the betting apps that pay for sponsorship.
Fans need to think about this real quick. Every time you say pay the man, you're saying raise my ticket prices. Green Bay, your ticket prices, Green Bay like to talk. Oh, our ticket prices aren't bad in Green Bay.
They will be.
They're about to be.
Next year, it'll be a totally different animal.
Yeah, it will be. That Micah money's got to come from somewhere. So,
and the dead cap that carries over the next 2 seasons from Kenny Clark has to come from somewhere.
Yeah. No, it's going to be interesting. I think your guys' game, if you break it down, they'll be pretty run heavy to start. Which I think a lot of offenses are going to start being run heavy in week 1 anyways, because offenses sometimes take a little bit more time to catch up. And that's a good way to combat that is establish a run early. I think you guys are going to do that either way, with or without Micah, and especially with Micah. And honestly, I don't want to say the Packers don't have a chance. They do, but it just there's more of a spotlight on Jordan Love now than I think there's ever been. last year you could say, well, but there was a big spotlight because of contract. But dude, now you've signed Micah Parsons, and now the expectations at ESPN. One of the guys at ESPN said he's a league MVP candidate. Dude, the expectations are going to be high on him, and he's got to
No,
show out.
no,
And
Steve, if Van Ness was going to be on the field at the same time as Parsons, I'd agree with you. According to the depth chart, he's behind Parsons. That's what they're showing on the Green Bay website right now.
no, I mean, that's a fair point that Steve makes because, like,
Yeah.
when Khalil Mack came to Chicago, that freed guys up. When we got Montez Sweat, that freed guys up for the remainder of that season. There is some truth to that, but he's got to be on the field. And honestly, he's got to prove that back is not a hindrance. So, and when you're going against Penei Sewell, like they're not double teaming Micah with Sewell. Sewell's gonna take him 1-on-1. Now, if he goes
they
the
won't
other
need to.
side, they'll just
On
chip him.
Decker.
Yeah, they'll just chip him.
Yeah, all they'll do is they'll move the tight end to that side to help chip with Decker.
Yeah.
Okay, here's the other thing that a lot of people aren't thinking about, and I thought about this. Last year, the Lions had the best scoring offense in the league, averaging almost 31 points a game, right?
Yep.
The Packers averaged 24 points a game.
Yep.
So when I did my score predictions in my article, I changed it from what I said last night. I said whether they win or lose, Green Bay scoring 24 points. The difference will be if the Lions win, they're going to score 31. If they lose, they'll score 21.
Interesting. Okay. I mean, that's a good, interesting take. I mean, look,
I think that's actually about what it's going to be, is about a 40 to 50 point game.
This is going to be a good test of your secondary because they're going to try to use Golden early to establish him as the stud rookie receiver.
I love our secondary this year. I do. I compared to what we had.
Yeah, it's a good test. I mean, look at the first 3 weeks are great tests for you guys overall. Because week 2, you don't get a letdown in receiving core. Week 3, you do get a little bit of a letdown in receiving core because I don't think Baltimore has a receiving core. But now you got your run defense is going to get tested.
Right. And our run defense has been pretty damn stout the last couple of years in a row.
And it's going to get tested in all 3 weeks because you get Josh Jacobs this week. You get the Bears running back room in week 2, and then week 3 you get King Henry. So, I mean, look at the Lions' first 3 weeks are 3 really good tests to kind of give you an idea of the direction of this football team. I don't think we're on the answer.
I think it's more the defense than the offense, though. I think you're going to see more because that defense is going to have to do more than what they did last year to win any of these games.
Well, yeah, but offensive, it's going to be more of a test of your line because you're playing like the Packers game, maybe not as much, but in week 2 against the Bears, you're definitely getting more tested on the line. And in week 3, you're really going to get tested on the line against Baltimore. So, yeah, I think offensively there is some testing there, but it's more on the line.
Right. It's not so much the pieces around it because if the line isn't doing their job, you're never going to see it.
Right. And I want to see how they use JMO. How many trick plays are we going to see with JMO this year? Or are they going to use him more straight up receiver?
They worked on some routes with him to be more of a straight up receiver this year. They still had, even in the joint practices, I saw they did a couple of play action end around and used them that way. And say what you want, the Houston Texans have a great defense.
Yeah,
they weren't stopping the end around with JMO.
Yeah, he that's his best play. I mean, it's kind of funny with JMO because like some Lion fans laud him as like this great receiver, but like he really isn't. He's a great, but he can make some great freaking plays, and the end around it seems to be his best play right now. And that's not necessarily a bad thing if people can't stop it. It's like the tush push. Oh, the only thing we're good at is the tush push, but it works. The only thing JMO's good at is the end around, but it works. As long as it works, who cares?
Right. And you know what's crazy is the other one that works that nobody talks about, but it works every damn time. It's 10 yards. And that's Amon-Ra St. Brown on an end around. Yeah. Because it's just a different pace and he's shiftier. He's got a shiftier move to him. You see it. I don't know what it is about Amon-Ra, but he did just whatever they ask him to do. He does it well.
Yeah, you know what, though? Steve's comment's strange. Like, the first 2 weeks, we get division, and then I think our next division opponent might not be till, like, week 11, too.
I think we get Minnesota before the Thanksgiving game.
Tesla, I'm looking forward to seeing more of Tesla. I want, is he hurt
Yeah.
though this week?
No, it was just an illness. He's fine.
Okay.
He's listed as questionable, not doubtful.
Well,
So
he had some bad coleslaw.
they left him out and open. He got white and dangerous. Come on, that's the funniest one you've heard yet this offseason, isn't it?
Tesla, that guy. I'll be interested to see what he is.
I
I love it when fans get hype on rookies. Like Bears fans were all hype about Ozzie Trapio and how he was going to be the starting left tackle. And on the depth chart now, he's back a bit. And it's like I love how fans get all hype on rookies. And I drafted a rookie in my fantasy team this year, but rookies are so.
rookies
Look,
are
the
great
draft
to
is
grab when you're looking at the bye weeks. This is what I'll say about rookies. Rookies are great to grab because by that time you'll know if you want to grab a vet in free agency by the time the buys show up, or if you just hold them.
I think Gibbs is gonna have a good season.
Hey, I'm in a Lions centric group where we only got like 4 teams up from other teams, and I managed to get Goff, Gibbs, Monty, and JMO on the same team.
You know what though? When it comes to your running back room, I mean Monty obviously had the big injury at the end of the year last year. Gibbs has had some minor injury issues. I'm wondering, and don't get mad at me, Lions fans, but I'm wondering if any of those are going to start to stack and we see more injury issues with those two this year. For as much as they get used, I'm wondering if we're going to start to see some more. I'm not talking like out for the season type stuff, but a game here, game there, or one of them is not available.
You're going to see it every year. I don't care how good of a tandem you're running or committee you're running. You're going to see injuries in the running back room. We've seen it all 3 years.
But is it going to be more prevalent this year than it has been in year past? In other words, what I'm saying is it going to start to stack and compound? Because at some point it is. And is it this year or is it next year? You know what I'm saying?
I think it's next year when Monty hits 29 and Gibbs hits that 24-year-old mark or 23, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Because then he'll have enough miles on him after his 3rd season in the year for Gibbs.
That was such a smart year for you guys. Like I still don't know why I'm looking at my Monty helmet right now, which is a Bears helmet. I thought it was
Lion.
Well, I got it when he was a Bear, but I loved when we drafted Monty because I thought the guy can do everything, and he can't, and he does. He still shows it. And why the Bears let him walk for that? When they signed him for the same money, and he would have stayed in Chicago is beyond me. I think that's one of the worst moves we've made in terms of letting a guy go was letting Monty go.
Yeah, I agreed. I was like, why did they let him go? They had no offensive line. He got 800 to 1,000 yards every year. With what was it? 4.2 yards per carry was his average in Chicago.
Like that, and we got nothing for him. That made it even worse. Like if you're not going to re-sign him, trade him at the deadline that year. But
that would be a great trade. I think Kelsey and Flowers for Scary Terry. I think that's going to be a great trade because now that he's extended, he's going to play hard for the Redskins this year.
You know what's funny about Scary Terry? Dude's had 2 ownerships. He's had 3 or 4 head coaches. He's had a different starting quarterback every year of his career until this year.
Right.
And he puts up crazy numbers. With all that crazy turmoil around him, with all the different offensive coordinators, head coaches, ownership changes, quarterback changes, and he still has been putting up those numbers.
The one thing he hasn't done is he hasn't had a triple-digit reception year. That's because of the change in quarterback play and everything else. And the other one is back-to-back 1,000-yard season.
Dude.
But the fact that he's been able to put 800, 900, and 950 and finally 1,000 yards with Daniels, and he has Daniels back again this year.
Steve, yes. So you guys know Ben Johnson likes 2 tight end sets. You're going to see Komet and Cole and Loveland out there at the same time. You'll see them both out there. And Komet's a friggin' beast, man. I mean, I'm so mad that the Bears have not used him properly over the last couple seasons. you've seen flashes of when they do, how good Kmet could be. Could you imagine if Kmet was like in Kansas City? He'd be like a household name. He's that good. But because the Bears barely use their tight ends, a lot of guys don't know him. But when you see the guy, when they do use him, freaking the guy is phenomenal. So yeah, you're going to see a lot of Cole Kmet. I think. I can't wait. I think you'll see a lot of Cole Kmet in week 2. I think you're going to see a lot of Kmet and Loveland early in the Bears season because it's always going to be the easy dump off pass, and these guys are going to run some crazy routes too.
What's weird is if you go back and look at those first 6 games when you went 4-2, you used Kmet a lot in those games.
Yeah.
As soon as he went away from using Kmet, and the running game started to break down a little bit because it was never quite as potent as it was in those first 6 games. As soon as that happened, that's when the woes started happening, and you saw new and interesting ways that the Chicago Bears went on. What was that? An 11-game losing streak, 12 games.
I mean, let me put it in a way that Lions fans can understand that the way Bears fans feel about this offense. I think our offense is. And it's funny now that Ben Johnson is now the architect of this offense as well. But the Bears have the capability to put up as many points as the Lions do every week with the weapons on this offense. What it comes down to is the offensive line for the Bears, just like it's going to come down to the offensive line for the Lions. Offensively, though, there's a lot of similarities between the two. Both have at least one good tight end. The Bears have 2. I don't know about the backup to Laporta, if I trust him as much.
Right.
Yeah, like if I put him up against Loveland, I don't know how to grade that right now. Wide receiving rooms, I'd say your top 2, and the Bears' top 2 are right there. But I think the Bears, in the totality of the wide receiving room this year, might be a little deeper. I say might be a little deeper, but still, the 2 wide receiving rooms match up pretty comparably. If I go the running game, you guys have the slight edge there. However, it's not like the Bears don't have anything. They got a guy who's got, as you guys know, Swift has great home run hitting speed. Manan guy looks like he's going to be number 2, and he's a kid in college, never dropped the ball, never coughed it up, and he's going to be between the pipes. So I think there's so many capability likenesses between these 2 clubs. No, a lot of money is not going to be on Dallas tonight. That's where I think the Bears are. So there's so many similarities between them. It's going to be such a fun season. If things work out with both our offensive lines, I would not be surprised if the NFC North in general is one of the highest scoring outside of the divisions. Within the division, I don't expect a lot of shootouts because the defenses are all pretty damn good.
And I'm just the opposite. I do expect shootouts, but I don't expect high scoring shootouts.
Yeah.
I think they're that good.
Yeah.
We're talking.
Yeah, tonight's the spread.
8.5 spread. I might even throw $10 on it just for the Hail Mary on it. Because at an 8.5 point spread, anything over 7 is hard for a team to cover.
Well, how many Super Bowl? Okay, let's go back on opening night. How many Super Bowl champions on opening night have won a game by 8 points or more? And how many of them have actually lost week 1?
I think way more have lost week 1 than won.
Yeah.
And I think only 3 have won by 8.5 points or more.
And then you've got because you got the Super Bowl hangover. That's the Super Bowl piece. Then you got the Saquon triple whammy, right? That he's got going on. I mean, how many more curses does this guy need this year? And look they lost some players and they got some guys out in Philly due to injury.
Wouldn't that be the shit the bed moment?
I mean,
Kenny Clark on a good clean tackle takes Saquon out for the season.
I mean, but look Dallas. This is a week that they can come in and steal a game. And
if they have injuries on the O-line with people announced not playing, I would be a lot higher on Dallas being able to pull it off. I think they'll cover the spread. I think they'll cover the spread, but they won't win.
Dallas has an offense. We know they've got an offense, or at least a passing game. The running game we'll find out a little bit more this week.
Well, they got Javonte Williams in that room now, who did really well for the Broncos, and I'm surprised they let him go this year.
Yeah, but you know how Dallas is. Sometimes guys are good somewhere else and go to Dallas, and but we'll get some. We'll start to get answers on Dallas. But I mean, Dallas. Look at you guys walked into Arrowhead a couple years ago and stole the game, right? There's no reason why Dallas can't walk into um, Lincoln Financial and steal a game tonight.
It has to be in 2 hours prior to the game. With it being a 4:25 game, we'll know the injury report for sure at 2:30 in the afternoon.
Yeah, like when you read the injury report last night, I was like, man, there are so many names I know should be on there that weren't on there. It's like I was wondering. I've been asking that this week. Like we know they got to start posting the injury report, but what were the rules on it? Do they have to actually post an honest to God injury report before the first game of the season, or is it really start next week? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, the final injury report is 2 hours prior to game time. That's the one that has to be legit.
But like the one for the Bears yesterday, like when you read the Bears, like Roshan Johnson hasn't practiced. He should be on that injury report. Jalen Johnson did practice though for the Bears.
But also at the same time, I think that Wednesday report is from Tuesday.
I think that Wednesday report.
What I'm saying?
Roshan didn't practice Tuesday either. He hasn't practiced at all. He should be on the report. Weird. I think the report that we got yesterday was kind of a trash report league wide because no one's reporting anything. Yeah, they don't really have to. I think it's that pregame right before the game drops, the 2 hours prior, and then next week we'll start to see truth in reporting.
I think the only two you could trust off of that was the laundry list we saw of the Chargers and the Chiefs. Other than that, the rest of it was pretty bland.
Yeah.
Except for the people that were ruled out.
Yeah.
You know, like
if they didn't put on the IR, you kind of got they're kind of not
right.
Yeah.
But like there was people that were saying that they are not playing, like Tristan Wirfs and Chris Godwin.
Oh yeah, the freaking Jesus Tampa with the laundry list there. I mean, I don't know. Lions Packers. God, how many different ways can you break this game down? Jordan Love has to show that he's worth $55 million. Goff has no pressure on him, comparatively speaking. Like I think Goff's $48 million contract, and we all laughed at it when you guys signed it. And I know,
but now it's a bargain. Now it's a bargain.
Now it's a good deal.
Right
now it's a good deal. I remember when it came out, and it was like, oh, and everyone's like, oh, but look, they've got outs. They've got 2 years. They don't win in 2 years. He's gone. Well, obviously he's not gone. The $48 million contract actually looks like a good contract now compared to other quarterbacks. So like Goff has no pressure. He's free.
Right. And like I said, it's that balloon payment next year. But that's after all the guaranteed money comes off the book. So they can restructure that and change it and everything else. And that's what it will be a restructure extend.
Yeah. Yeah, they'll just I don't see you. Look, I don't see you guys getting away with him or getting away from him at all. I think you guys are going to extend, restructure, extend. There's no reason to get, now that Hooker's gone finally, thank God. So we can stop hearing Hooker should be the quarterback. No, he should have never been the quarterback. Because right now there is no heir apparent.
Who calls the plays in Detroit? Believe it or not, everything ran through Dan Campbell. That came out in Hard Knocks that year. And I don't think that changes because Dan Campbell always has a headset on the sideline.
Yeah, but last year last 2 years Ben Johnson's been making those calls. But I mean, he might have had obviously fourth down was Campbell. I think Campbell's going to make more of the play calls until. Not that he doesn't trust, as I like to call him, the Morton Salt Company, but I think Morton hasn't earned that with Campbell yet, and Morton's going to have to earn the right to be the full-time play caller, or Campbell's going to have to fall flat a lot for them to say, hey, look, man, you gotta let Morton do it. But I think he takes more of an active control of the play calling this year with the new OC, and I don't blame him for doing that. Yeah, I don't think he's calling the plays. He's designing the plays. I don't think he doesn't have the power that Ben did there.
Yeah, he did. If you look, he always had the headset on, and it was only on during offensive drive. What he did not pay attention to was defensive drive.
Yeah, I think Ben called more of the plays though last year than Dan did.
I'm telling you, it's a lot less than you thought.
Because when you watch quarterback and you listen to Goff, a lot of Goff when you hear Goff talk, he's talking about how Ben said, "Hey, let's go ahead and run this," not like Dan saying, "Hey, let's go ahead and run this." Goff made it sound like Ben was calling plays.
I understand. But at the same time, when he would run off the field, did you see who he was talking to 99% of the time after the plays were done? It was Dan Campbell.
Hey, you know what's funny about quarterbacks? I haven't been on just your show like this since watching it. Did you not find it interesting in a weird way that the show's called Quarterback, and they spent more time on Jared Goff's girlfriend than they did on Jared Goff's girl than
I
they did
loved
on.
it. I loved it.
It was just like isn't the show supposed to be about him? I mean, I get she's an SI swimsuit model and all, but come on.
Goff calls audibles and changes the plays every game. Have you not paid attention to the last 4 times you got your ass whooped straight from the Lions?
Well, you got to remember, Green Bay fans are a little special. Let me remind you something about
Steve
Green
usually
Bay.
doesn't do that. Steve usually doesn't do that.
Yeah, but let me remind you about Green Bay fans, okay?
I know.
I mean, come on. We're talking Green Bay here, man.
But at the same time, I actually think Chicago will win Monday Night Football.
I especially if JJ's not playing. I honestly, I hate to say this, but for the betterment of the Vikings, they might be better resting JJ with that hamstring issue for a week versus him going out there because look, you've got no Jordan Addison, right? They got
Adam Thielen.
Yeah, they got Thielen, but JJ is look at the Bears we already know we can contain JJ, right? We do it every game, and like we did it last year, and then Addison was the one who killed us. I don't think Thielen's killing us like Addison did. I would not want to risk furthering those hamstring issues with JJ in week 1 and then possibly lose him for 4 or 5 games. I think long term
or the season.
Yeah, you let JJ rest this week and get that hamstring healed better, and you run him out there in week 2 or week 3. And honestly, even if you don't run him until week 4 and you go the first 3 weeks out without JJ or Addison, look, you can start the season 1 and 2, right? And be okay and still have a good year and make the playoffs. I would, and then you get Addison and JJ back at the same time. Oof. And they're both healthy at that point. That's like a little injection boost right there. I think the Bears win week 1. And look, it's got to be hard. You're JJ McCarthy. Your first NFL start is Monday Night Football in hostile territory, where there's so much hype over a new head coach with the team you're facing, and some big player acquisitions and everything else. And you're missing at least at minimum your number 2 weapon.
Corey Patterson, haven't seen you in forever, brother.
That's a tough call.
Yeah, I think Chicago does win. I think the Chargers might upset the Chiefs tonight if they're sleeping and come out sluggish.
I mean Friday. They play tomorrow. Sao Paulo's tomorrow. Tonight's one game tonight, and then one game tomorrow. I already have, dude. I bought a Caleb jersey when we drafted him. On draft day, draft weekend, I got a Caleb and a Dunze. I got both. So I got both. I got salute to service for obvious reasons. I did not like that salute to service here. I don't like the way those jerseys look as well, but that's okay.
JJ will need to get those rookie mistakes out of the way. He's going to cost the game.
And that could very well be. I mean, especially with missing Addison, and if JJ isn't 100%, even if they play him, it's going to lead to some mistakes. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. We didn't even think about that. This game tonight will be funny if it's a tie game.
That would be funny.
Now, wait. Have them end in a tie.
Yeah.
And then have Denver and Raiders both lose their opener. And then that means there'd be a tie at the top as first place in the division. And it might be the last time you see the Chargers there because of their O-line issues.
Yeah. No, wait. Isn't the Chargers game tomorrow? It's Friday. Yeah.
I know it's tonight. Oh yeah, it's tonight. Tomorrow. Because tonight is Eagles and Cowboys.
And the rating system. Yeah, the 1-star rating system. Now look at tonight's game ends up in a tie. You're still going to hear a ton of trash talk from Cowboy fans to the Packers on that trade. They may be right.
If they don't get blowed out, you're going to hear trash talk from the Cowboy fans.
If it's a 3-point game, if it's like a field goal or something, or 1-score game, you're going to hear it too, because they'll be like, look, we didn't have Micah, and look, we're still really good. Micah wasn't all that. Yeah, they're playing Steve the game tomorrow night's in Brazil.
Yep.
And you know what though? This is what's great, because last year Packer fans like, oh, the soccer fields, they lost because it was a soccer field and the fields were terrible. No, Packer fans, it's because your equipment manager was a dumbass. It's winter in Brazil. And so when you check for cleat studs during the day when the sun's out and it's a little bit warm in the 50s or 60s or whatnot, it's different than when the grass gets slick with dew and the temperature drops 20 degrees. You didn't have the right studs last year. So I don't think that's going to be a problem this year for Kansas City and LA. They're going to bring the right cleats.
Oh, yeah. I guarantee you that's the chant that's going to come across from Lions fans in week 2. Fuck Ben Johnson.
Yeah, you know what, though? I mean, look, in a way, I hope they do it, because I think that fires teams up. When they hear their coach being assaulted like that verbally, that's going to fire teams up. And that's just going to make that game even more. And I'm going to miss it. I'm going to be on the cruise ship. Maybe I can catch it on the cruise ship. I don't know if that's going to be a day at sea or I'm at a port that day. I'm hoping it's a day at sea, because if it's a port day, I'm not going to see the game, because I'm going to be doing glaciers and whales and all, looking at the other stuff we're going to Alaska cruise to see. But man, that's going to be a great game. That is going to be a great game.
When you go around that cruise and you're passing by the Yukon, when you see that glacier shelf that falls off between McKinley and the next mountain, I heard it's gorgeous.
Yeah. Fred, no. Put Fred's comment up. Yeah. Yeah, no, Fred. No. You do not cancel an Alaska cruise. Think about this. For people watching, ask your friends who have done this. Ask any of your friends who have ever been on an Alaska cruise. Have you ever heard anyone say, man, I wish I didn't go on that Alaska cruise? I've never heard anything but good things, and I'll probably report back good things when I come back in about a week and a half. Jerry Jones gets a bad rap on a lot of things. Like, Jerry's actually
I think that trade worked out great for both teams for right now, and you can't give it one way or the other unless Green Bay gets a Super Bowl out of it. And I'm going to go there, because that means they win year one.
Right.
But if they hit on both those draft picks, because they went from having one draft pick with the 32% bust rate to 2, that increases their odds of getting a better player, correct?
Yep. Oh, yeah. Yeah, but Fred, look, I've been to Wisconsin. I grew up in Chicago, man. I have family in Stevens Point. I used to go up to Jatech, Wisconsin, and go hit Rice Lake and Kugel Brewery all the time.
Hey,
I've been to Wisconsin.
I'm not going to lie. I'm jealous, because I haven't been to Alaska yet, and I got family there.
Yeah, I can't wait to be on this cruise. Well, not just that, but what say the Packers don't make the playoffs this year for some reason? I mean, that makes it even better.
Have said all 4 teams have a chance to either make the playoffs or not, because of how good the division is and how tough the schedules are outside the division.
I mean, let's say the Packers, for whatever reason, are the odd man out, and let's say they finish 9-8 and don't make the playoffs, right? That means that draft pick is a little bit better as well. So it's going to be interesting.
His grandpa said he's not. His dad said he's not, but he hasn't said he's not.
Yeah.
So I just got back from the UP over the Mackinac Bridge on Monday. Had a great time seeing the waterfalls and other stuff. That's awesome. I love Picture Rock up there.
One of my former soldiers actually works on the bridge. That's a cool bridge up there.
Sorry, I got it mixed up. Those aren't whales; they're heifers.
Yeah,
in Wisconsin.
And lots of cheese. They love their cheese curds.
And look at this. We got Paul Jones. I was saying in this show, Paul, Aiden Hutchinson contract talks for the extension have started. Jeremy Fowler.
How expensive is that going to be?
It really depends. He says he wants to be a Lion for life.
Yeah.
He doesn't have the same guy as like Max Crosby and Myles Garrett and stuff like that. So he might not have as dominant of an agent to make it so it's so expensive too.
But I mean, is it going to be 48? Is it going to be Micah money or more?
I think it might be less. It could be less. I don't think it's going to be anything less than 43, and I don't
Okay.
think it'll be anything more than 50. That's where I'm at on it.
Okay. So between 43 and 50.
Yep.
But I think if they can ink him now, it's better that they wait till after the season. I mean, there's a little more risk to do it now, coming off the injuries coming off of.
If they,
But
that's why I think it'll be the lower is because of the injury. I think he'll get that
now.
just below
Right.
Myles Garrett money.
If they do it today, yes. If it doesn't happen until the season ends, now you're talking 50 million.
Right, because if he ends up being defensive player of the year, comeback player of the year, and everything
Something
else,
like that.
like everybody's predicting, because
Yep.
everybody doing it.
So as a Bears fan, I hope you guys fumble the ball in this one and don't get him signed during the season to an extension. And you have to wait till after and have to spend more money, which means you can't sign as many weapons next year as everyone else. There we go.
That I know that's what you want, but actually next year we will be able to still because he's on the 5th-year option.
Well, I mean, but you know what I mean at some point, yeah. There's an interesting guy next year. He's going to be a free agent. He'll be 32, right? We'll see how Trey Hendrickson does this year, but I would not be surprised if NFC North teams don't. A couple NFC North teams that have money left, Detroit, Chicago, don't try to woo him next year.
I don't think that we will because we have so many of these core players on that have contract extensions coming up.
Well, same here, but here's the thing, though. For next year, if you're talking like a one-year deal, like an all-in kind of thing, like a shot to push you over the top for 1 year to get to the Super Bowl, I can so see it. I mean, and it doesn't affect your core long-term players if you're just using next year's money. Those guys are under contract.
But
if the Bears or Lions are both kind of our teams that are somewhat in that spot where they could do that. I think the Lions more so than the Bears.
Yeah, and that's the benefit of having two teams in the top 10 for age. Everybody,
the Bears got younger, even though we got the older guys.
Green Bay has the youngest, then it's the Bears, then it's us, then it's Minnesota in that pecking order from age to youth or whatever.
Yeah, we get rid of Keenan. We get rid of an old guy in Keenan Allen, then we bring in Joe Thuney. But I think that the thing with the age thing is a little bit of a misnomer because you look at these offensive linemen. They don't get their peaks until 29 through 33, it seems.
I mean, except for the generational talent like Sewell and there's a few of them. There's a few of them that come out of the game.
Right. On balance, though, it's the older guys who are actually you want, like your Toonies of the world. Like Thuney, I think the way if he stays healthy, he can go for 4 or 5 years before you have to
awesome,
go.
Dwayne. Well, how about that? We've made it through the hour, basically.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, I thought I'd come out and join you today and bring you that little present. Who's the key player in Chicago defense? So the interesting thing about the Bears defensively, Grady Jarrett did not play a down in the preseason. I think look at the edge Dio, however you want to say his name, is going to be the question mark for edge in Chicago. But people are sleeping on the middle.
Everybody, they're looking at the average per year and not realizing every team does exactly what Paul Jones said. Yeah. And the guy that we have here, Matt Dunstall, was sought after by like 6 teams this year. The contract guy we had, and he stayed here. So it's exactly what it is. It's probably, and you say 3 years. I say it's going to be a 4-year contract with 2 void years on the end to keep the cost down. Yep. And the last 2 will be balloon payments.
Yeah, so Steve, to answer your question, I'd say watch the interior defense of the Bears with Gervin Dexter Sr. and Grady Jarrett. Ooh, score prediction for tonight. Fred gives, oh my God, Fred.
I don't think it'll be that high because I think they're going to be able to stuff the run better with Kenny Clark myself.
Yeah, I think it's going to be close. Like I said,
Anzalone is not on the trading block. He's staying here this year. They actually reworked his contract to give him another $2 million. Now he makes as much as Derek Barnes, and he's happy.
Is he going to be there next year, though?
He's still a free agent next year.
Yeah. Some interesting guys.
I don't think anybody's on the trading block unless we shit the bed through the first 8 weeks.
Yeah, I don't see anyone in the NFC North being sellers. I
Right.
see the
I
NFC
think
North being
everybody in.
buyers, if anything.
Is anybody predicting Philadelphia to I haven't heard it yet.
I know.
I've heard even in the professional realms of the NFL Network and the ESPN, I've heard them say Bills Packers, Bills Lions, Chiefs Lions. I've heard what was the other one? There's another Chiefs Bucks. I heard that.
Yeah, I've heard the
But I
Rams,
have not.
Bucks.
I've only heard out of the 20 people I've heard 3 people say Eagles for the NFC.
Yeah, I think this might be Buffalo's year. I hate to say it. That means we're not winning it in the North, but this could be Buffalo's year. They've got. I like what they've done in Buffalo. They've got a good team.
I love what they do in Buffalo, but I love losing Super Bowls.
I know, but
there and be wide right again on the game winner.
yeah, I mean, look at the and as far as Super Bowl, the North, man, it could be any team in the North. Yeah, I'll even include the Bears on this because if they get in the playoffs, it's a whole nother story. If we send three or four teams to the North, I don't think the North goes one and done like last year. Especially if we send 4, that'd be technically impossible. Well, maybe not. But yeah,
But you know what? At the same time, you can't say it didn't make their defense better. I'm not going to be that guy.
right.
Micah Parsons makes the defense better on pass defense and pass rush. What I'm worried about is what happens up the middle.
Yeah, the analysis on the Packers was done in like 2.2 seconds. They didn't actually think it through.
Right. And then what? We're now a week and 3 days into the trade, and we hear, oh, he's hurt.
Yeah, and the numbers are already dropping on the odds for them. So,
It's going to come back down to reality, and it's going to be because of the 3 teams that were in the playoffs last year. Those are still going to be the 3 favorites for the North right now because of the question marks on every team.
throw that up, Fred. You killed me, man. That's great. Look, the thing with the Packers is you gotta let the Packer fans be happy, guys, okay? Because they've not done a trade like this in like 4 decades. Okay, this is a big friggin' deal for them. In the last year and a half, they've signed 2 big money free agents. They've drafted a wide receiver in the first round, and now this. Let the Packers have their moment. Let them be happy. But the reality is, it's not going to be what they think it is.
Cortisone isn't allowed anymore because of the injuries that happen after using cortisone.
Right.
It's prednisone that they had to use, which is a lesser version. It's more watered down, but it still has a steroid in it.
Yeah. Yeah. Let the Packer fans be happy for a couple days.
I am.
Yeah. Well, I was telling them. I know you are. I am too.
I think it was a good trade for both teams. If you just look at it from the player standpoint and what they do for each team, it was a great trade for both teams.
I want the NFC North in its totality to get more respect from the national paid millionaire sportscasters this year. That's what I want. I am so sick and tired of the North getting treated like we don't play football here. Like, dude, this is probably the most talented division in football right now.
Did you see Get Up with Greeny? They had Cam Newton on there the other day after the trade was made.
What was he saying?
He sat there and goes, how are you guys putting Green Bay above Detroit when they're not better than Detroit already? They traded away their best run defender for one of the best pass rushers in the league. It's a tit for tat. One's going to get worse while the other gets better. And he goes, and that's if he's completely healthy. This is the day after the trade. He goes, now 3 years down the road, they might be a Super Bowl contender, but they're not one right now compared to Detroit.
No. But, I say, look, if any of our teams
and that's the first time I heard him say something that intelligent since his rookie year.
I'll say this. Any team that gets to the playoff is a playoff contender. Because in the playoffs, anything can happen. Remember the Giants?
Yep.
Just saying.
Wasn't the one year they were 7-9?
Yeah.
And won the Super Bowl?
Yep. Who wants to go for the South? Well, I guess we'll do it.
We'll never see that type of record get in the playoffs again with this many teams.
You could.
If it's a division winner. If it's a division winner.
Division winner, but yeah.
So you're talking
They
It
were
might be
the division winner because they were the only team from the division to get in. And it was like, well, who wants to win this division? Not me, not me. I guess we'll do it. And then they won the Super Bowl. Hey, we're about to hit that clock, man.
Yes, we are. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Have a great day. Try every day to be a better person. You heard the day before. That's the only way to make the world a better place. Starts right here. Much love.